Welcome to the video, everyone, and I'm sorry that it's been ages since I've uploaded. I've had a lot of things that I've got to get done and just sort through in my mind as well, really. I think you may have noticed, or you may not have done, I'll upload links to the description box, but there are police who are kind of changing the way in which they police. And this isn't new, this is something that they've done before. And it was around about the same time, around about 2001, I think oh no, we won't go that way, it's too muddy. Herbie, this way. I think it was 2001 because it was 2004 when there was a article about the BNP stealing someone's documentary, which was all about Muslim grooming gangs. And it was just, I think, 3 years before that. 2001 seems to be the year when society was kind of shaken, I guess. Started to get traumatised, probably deliberately so. And so this happened previously, and I guess with the changing in policing, it's going to happen again, more of this grooming gang stuff maybe. And so I don't want that happening. I don't want more children being gang raped and things, so I'm going to be making complaints to the police, making legal threats to them, and of course there's no lawyers who will represent me, so I'm just going to be testing the law, making challenges, all of that kind of stuff, and using my past case as evidence for subjective reasoning in my new cases. And also what's happening is, I know this seems to happen in waves, but there's a lot of sort of flare up of political correctness, and this seems to happen in waves, and it seems to be happening in waves with like the elections, and predominantly this is gooey. Oh man, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through this, Herbs. I'll find a different way. Eesh. I don't think I'm going to. We're going to have to get messy. Oh. You don't care, do you? I do. Right, let's go this way. Don't jump on me. Ah, we beat it. Look at you. Get down. Huh. Right. Yeah, so there's a lot of political correctness and sort of anti-political correctness as well, but gets heightened around this time. It seems to be by the media and then by the politicians, and I don't follow either for my own mental health. And I don't follow the alternative media, I don't follow the mainstream media, but the people in my life, they do. And so some of the things which they talk about are really quite hurtful, and we do know what I've been through. but they are full on woke, which is a shame. And they gloat that they are woke, which is even worse. And so it's been quite difficult. I think it was Elon Musk. So there was stuff about the grooming gangs, and Elon Musk has said something about it, and the people in my life are saying, well, what right does he have to say anything about what's going on in our politics, and he should shut up because they believe that his mentioning it is going to cause a holocaust against Muslims. Yeah. So apparently they're all going to get gassed. And from my perspective, I'm just thinking, okay, so you're okay with one type of genocide, but not with another, because mass rape of one ethnicity by another is under international criminal courts, that is genocide. And that was Prosecutor versus Abakasu, maybe that's what it was called. And that was a Rwanda genocide with the Tutsi tribe, and I forget what the other tribe was called, but those mass rapes were aided and abetted by those in power, which is exactly what's going on with the police. And this is why I'm going after the police. But it's also happening with the NHS, and it's also happening with all sorts of it's happening with the education system. So I would like to go after all of them, really. And so I'm just preparing all my old case notes and all my case law, which I used, and I didn't really, the thing that I had difficulty with, and I think that a lot of people who self-represent would have, is that case law is paywalled. So you can't get the case law unless you pay a annual fee. This is why they were saying that my court case was so unconventional, because I was using newspaper articles to represent the court cases, which were case law for my own case. There was one which was about torture by the police, all sorts. So oh man, we're going this way, Herbs. I just seen a dog and I'm thinking he's not got anything, he's not going to come back to me. So he's terrible at recall. Anyway, yeah, so I'm using case law, but in a really kind of bizarre method. And the way I kind of thought about it in my court case, in my previous court case, was that you have a right to representation, which I couldn't get And the issue with representation in this day and age is that you only get representation through no win, no fee. And if the solicitors don't deem your case to be profitable enough, then you won't even get representation. So that's why I was left to self-represent, because they all told me that because I had gone past the time limit. I had exceeded the time limit, and because of that, they would not represent me. And from my perspective, I was thinking, well, I looked at the laws and the legislation surrounding time limits, and there was exceptional circumstances. So I went back to them and I said, can't you just argue exceptional circumstances? And they said, well, it's very, very rare that the courts will allow for that, which I thought was ridiculous. I think it was just laziness on their part. They just don't want to challenge the status quo. That's pretty. And this is the problem that we're in, I think. Lawyers don't want to challenge the status quo, and so they're also encouraged to settle. And this is why I have an issue with my partner when we do our legal stuff, because he's always keen to settle. And I don't really see the point in a court system if we are settling. Because to me, settling is complacency. It's you putting your head in the sand, because it's judgments which change behaviour. And I feel very strongly that we as the people are supposed to get the judgments to nudge behaviour. Those people in the power, in authority, they get stupid, ridiculous professionals or experts to nudge behaviour. And we've been encouraged not to use the court system, but instead settle outside of the court system. Like, we're threatened, really, because we're told that if we take our case to the end, to judgment, then we will be that will be frowned upon. So it goes without saying that people will start to say, well, I'll just settle then, because I don't want the judges to frown upon me for taking it to judgment. But that's not what our court system is supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to be there to find a solution, and settlement, I suppose in some ways it's okay, but there are other ways when it's not okay, it doesn't work. And I think that we've got to be a bit more courageous these days. You okay? He does this thing where he just stands there and pretends that he's watching me. It's all a pretense, isn't it, Herbie? So yeah, I've been sorting out my old court case to get all that information to use as evidence in my new cases, and that's been a bit upsetting. Now, yeah, we've got Elon Musk talking about the Muslim grooming gangs, and then I don't know. I think that they did all of this last time because I was thinking, oh, this is great, because I think it was Trump. He was talking about it and I thought that was really good. But in reality, it got dropped. It all got dropped again when Biden came along. So I'm not gonna, don't believe the hype, isn't it? Oh, it's windy this way. We'll go this way. It's fine. And so, yeah, I've got people around me who absolutely believe that if we talk about grooming gangs, the Muslim grooming gangs, then the Muslims are going to be gassed. So they'd rather turn a blind eye to one type of genocide in fear that another type of genocide may happen, may not happen, but just in case it does, let the other type of genocide take place. And that's their method of thinking. And it's very hard being around woke people, which I am. What have you got? Uh-oh. Yeah, he saw another dog and he wanted to go and play. And he's not bad with other dogs. He's really good with other dogs, but he gets distracted and he's impossible to recall. But she was telling me that she takes hers to gun dog training, and she said it's really, really good. So that's an option. I can play with guns as well, hey? That might be fun too. In the apocalypse. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with Elon Musk. And everyone who I know, well, they just think like mainstream media, really. There's not much beyond their thinking than the Independent or the Guardian newspapers, so it's one of them, really. I think we'll go this way, Herbie. Yeah, so with all that and learning that they are kind of quite comfortable with the mass grooming gangs. I mean, it's so sad that people are like that, and the mass rapes and stuff. They just sort of feel like, yeah, that's fine, and that does upset me a lot, because it suggests to me that things just aren't going to change. I'm going to go this way because it might be less windy. So I do feel like it's up to me, really, and just small groups of people to make changes, and those changes, they're going to be slow and small but frequent, hopefully. And with them being slow, small and frequent, maybe that's sort of a stealthy way of changing things. You know, when you see people like Tommy Robinson going to court and everything, the media is already getting involved and sort of deciding how they want the judge to rule. And this is why I'm not sure about Tommy Robinson and how authentic he is in all of this. But needless to say, these things are happening, and sort of accept that they are. But yeah, I feel that we are encouraged and taught not to seek a judgment, and it's seeking the judgment is what's going to change things. It's essential. So that's what I'm aiming for, and I'll be doing it completely under the radar, which is probably very good and useful. Oh yeah, I found that a whole load of files from my court case went. Herbie, come. He wants to go and see the other dog. Herbie, come. Well, that wasn't so bad. You just can't do that when another dog is around, can you? Hey? Oh well. You've got work to do, sir. Right, so yeah, from my perspective it will be all under the radar, no influence by the media, because the media does influence judgments, regardless of what it claims. It absolutely seeks to influence judgments, and this is why I'm a little bit sceptical of certain court cases, but I don't know. They might be genuine and sincere, I don't know. Yeah, some of the files that I've got on my court case have disappeared. They're not with me, but I think that they were possibly taken out during the court case, and that is because I didn't check during the court case that all my papers were there. I just assumed that they were, and obviously you're self-representing that kind of case and it becomes really stressful and you don't really look into it and check and double check. So that's something I've got to remember. Some of the pieces were about the COVID, and I won't say any more about that because the video will get taken down. But yeah, it's kind of unrelated, but kind of a plea to anyone reading my court case to be careful about certain things. And I'll leave it at that. You'll see it anyway. I'm going to upload it to Substack, but that won't be for a while. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, and that's where I've been. That's what I'm doing, and I hope that's a good explanation if anyone's been wondering. And I do feel positive about it. I think that it's going to have positive changes. Like I said, it's so hard for someone who is self-representing to access case law and judgments because they're all behind a paywall, which shouldn't be the case. They should be open to everyone, really. If we have a true justice system and you are allowed to self-represent, obviously representation has been sort of forced onto us for specific reasons, and that is to ensure that we are influenced in our court and legal proceedings, right? It's to navigate the system so that they always win. And so when someone does come along who is willing to, challenge just the method, the courts can't, especially in my situation, because I'm arguing that the entire public sector are behind this genocide. So the courts can't refuse my case, or they can't anyway, but they're put in a very difficult position, and I know that they are. And that's intentional on my part. So we'll see what happens. I will keep you updated. I'll also go over some of the articles which I talked about in my court case. Oh, have I trapped you? Come here. Come here. It's okay, come here. Come here. Oh. Oh. Hang on. Right, he's free. Sometimes I have to leave that lead on him. It's getting all knotted. Okay, so yeah, I'll go over some of the articles which I raised in my court case because I think they're relevant to today. Psychiatry, psychology, the misuse of it in our history, under communist and Nazi regimes, and I talked about all of this. Useless eaters, T4 action. Oh, I raised a whole lot of it. So I'll go over those articles, and I've got loads of stuff written on these articles which are quite emotional. They're me just sort of making my point with sort of side notes and footnotes and stuff. So yeah, it's getting windy again, so I'll leave it there. But that's where I've been, surrounded by woke people who are just depressing me. Anyway, I'll try and be a bit better at uploading, but I don't know that I can be, because I've got to make these cases and prepare them, and basically I'm going to be doing it by using reasonable adjustment requests so that I can bring them through the courts under disability discrimination. I want to take them to court, and I'm just going to turn away from the wind. I want to take them to court, and I want to bring them to the courts, and I want to make sure that I get a judgment. This isn't about settlement, it's not about the money. This for me is about judgments, because then I'll use it, because I can't access case law, and quite honestly I don't think it's fair the way they paywall it against the public, and you have to have certain qualifications in order to access it, and that's not what our legal system is supposed to be about. So I'm going to be doing it so unconventionally, and the judges are going to have to take it, because otherwise I'll sue the judges, I'll sue the courts, I'll sue the government, because there is the UK, who was it? It was the McLibel court case, and they sued the government. Herbie! It's going after a pheasant. Yeah, they went after the government in the end for unfair trial. And I think there are time limits on unfair trial. So I'm not sure that I can do that with my last case. Herbie, come! Where the hell's he gone? Oh, look at that. It was a, I don't know what kind of bird it was, but it's a bird of prey. I love birds of prey. Anyway, that's what's going on. There it is again. What is that? It's hunting. Herbie's watching it. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, McLibel case. I've got the judgment for that. And that is also, I'm not sure whether I can bring that. At some point, I'm guessing that I will have to go find a lawyer, but I'm not comfortable with that. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I actually will genuinely leave it there now. Okay, and I'll speak soon. Bye.